I followed this low poly car modeling tutorial to make myself learn to not fear modeling. And this is what I was able to make.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing.
Yeah, I know it's not that good, but I still learned a few things about modeling that I think it would be nice for people to know. Look, I am not good at 3D modeling, like not even kidding, but I do know how to do it because back when I started using Blender, I didn't know that you didn't have to do everything on your own, so I did modeling too. So combining the knowledge I had back then and the knowledge I gained now, I'm gonna give you some tips about modeling. Number 1, focus on big shapes first, then go to small details. If you ever taken painting or sketching lessons, you would know that we always start from base shape and color, then go to small details. Well, the same is in the modeling. So if you have to model this car, you will start by blocking out the base shape first. Just forget that there are windows, light, doors in a car, just make a silhouette first. Why? Well, it is easier to control the mesh when there are few polygons on it than when there are a lot of polygons. It is easier to fix a mistake with less polygon, so it is better to have a simple shape with less dense polygons so that you can always fix the mistake easily without having to restart all over again and doing things all over again. Speaking of which, number 2, duplicate and save the mesh whenever you're going to the next level of details on the model. Making mistakes is inevitable, so in case you cannot undo your mistakes, you would have a backup to start over from, instead of just starting from scratch again. Number 3, use a lot of references from different angles. It may be obvious to a lot of people, but it is still worth mentioning. You may be using blueprint of cars as background images to create basic shapes of the car, but in addition, it really helps when you have some reference pics of the car from different angles as well, just to make sure you're modeling it correctly. Number 4, use mirror modifier for things that are symmetrical. I mean, it makes sense. If you have to model something like a car, most of the details on the left side and the right side would be the same. So using mirror modifier helps to reduce the time in doing the same things twice. Number 5, eliminate n-gons and minimize the number of tries. I'm not going into the war of loving or hating n-gons or tries, but the thing is, if you're modeling something like a car, you would want to increase the poly count eventually for smooth or real life renders. Usually you do it with modifiers like subdivision modifiers. The way these modifiers work is that they subdivide the polygons into more polygons by averaging out the points in the middle of two edges. Tries and especially n-gons really breaks that calculation for them and things look flat or with weird shading when they are there. So that's why we keep everything in quads to avoid this problem. And one more thing n-gon can do is to disrupt your edge flow. Like for example, if I have, let's just say for example, we have a monkey, right? Alright. So if we go to edit mode and let's just make it an n-gon, okay? So this is 2 quads. If I just remove this edge, then now this is an n-gon, right? So, and let's just for you know, let's just add one more and one more monkey, and this one would be the normal one, right? So this is the normal one with all the quads, and this is the one in which we have changed the quad into an n-gon. Okay, so now let's just subdivide. Okay, so if we subdivide this, which is a normal one, if we subdivide this and go 2 times, you can see the wireframe. I mean, if I apply this, you can see the wireframe. It is perfect right now. It is the whole edge flow is amazing, right? It's clean. But if I do the same thing with this, with the n-gon, to be fair, I'm here being very biased just to show what an n-gon can do, because anything that big of a deal, like anything that big would always be a problem. But let's just say for a demonstration, this is an n-gon, and now if I do the same thing in this, if I do the same thing in this, like if I had a subdivision, see, this has changed the edge flow. Like if you see in here, it has changed the edge flow. Like it is perfect edge flow. Like if you deform it in some way or animate some part of it, it won't be a problem here. It won't be a problem here. I mean, obviously I'm just deforming it very like terribly, but yeah, it won't be a problem there, but it could be a problem here. It's not like it's the worst edge flow, like it's not like it's the worst topology, but yeah, it can, it can lead to some different things that you don't want. So that's why we avoid n-gons. I mean, it's not like n-gons are like absolute no in your modeling, but it's just that it is best to avoid it if you don't know what you're doing. Number 6, modeling is like a puzzle to solve. I think this point needs clarification. When you model something, especially when it has curves or cuts, it becomes complex to extrude out the details from the mesh. Sometimes you would even create n-gons or tries out of the mesh and you have to clean it up. It is something that sounds scary, but now I'm realizing it is more like a puzzle to solve. Though I do agree that sometimes that puzzle gets so hard that you want to rage quit. Like you have to figure out how you can convert an n-gon into a quad in a way that it still maintains the edge flow and doesn't cause any shading issues. The main point is to 1. Keep things quad, and 2. Place the quads in correct flow so they would look good in smooth shadings and subdivisions. Knife tool in Blender is handy when it comes to doing that. So what do I mean by, what I meant by having it as a puzzle, thinking of it as a puzzle is that, for example, I intentionally did that. I don't know if it will work or not, but let's just say that we have this, but we want to make it a perfect edge flow like this so that we won't have any problem. But right now it is just like this, right? So obviously it won't be a good thing. So if we want to do it as, if we want it to have a perfect edge flow, then we have to do some cuts. We have to somehow make it so that this edge is going there and this edge is going there, this edge, like you know what I mean. So if we take knife tool, which is K by the way, so if I take knife tool, like this is the knife tool, I can cut and join things together. So let's just say that we want to make an edge flow like that. So what we will do is we will figure out how we can do it in such a way that there's as less tries and n-gons as we can. Like for example, right now it is just a big n-gon and some tries here and there. So let's just try to see if we can make it better. So I think this edge is going in this perfect direction, so let's just try to put this one in here, okay, and click, and again take K, click, and then click space to confirm, and just basically do it with every place you can. So now we are left with one edge and it is not going anywhere. So how can we solve it? First of all, let's just remove this so that we don't have any tries, right? So this as well, I guess. So yeah, I think we don't have any tries now, but we have a lot of problems, so we have to solve that as well. So first of all, we have to make this edge go somewhere else. Like here, we got something to connect it to. So if we can connect it, so now if we remove this one as well, now I think we have some, you know, improvement, I guess. But let's just see if we can fix it perfectly. So let's connect this one as well, and let's connect this one as well. Okay, so here I don't have anything to connect it to, and if I connect it here, then it will be a problem, right? So let's see what we can do. Maybe we can actually just make another, you know, an edge loop on our own. So we can also actually remove this, and now and remove all of this, because this actually is not looking good. Okay, so right now we can see that there is one more try. We can remove this, and now we have this space for us to connect to. I was doing wrong before. So yeah, I think we have all the quads. Let's just figure out if we have all the quads. Okay, so the way you figure out is go to select, without selecting anything, go to select similar, not select all by trade, face by side. So number of vertices 3, which means tries, and it shows no tries. Faces selected is 0. If we go to 4, we have all the faces selected, so that means that we don't have anything other than quads. Let's just say, just to be sure, no, we don't have any n-gons, right? So we kind of solved it. So yeah, so we have solved it, and yeah, and after that you can just go ahead and, you know, you have to kind of like make sure that it is going in the same way. So yeah, remember when I said that it is easier to control mesh when you have less polygons or less edges or less whatever? That's what I meant. Like, it is harder for you to now make it better. But if you had less polygon, it would have been much easier. But obviously, if your main goal is to create 3D realistic models or renders, then 3D modeling is just one of the few steps you have to take in order to do it. If you want to learn about the rest of the steps, then you can click the link on, I guess, the right side to know more about it.